What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is a new week with a potential new project. I've got a lead on another truck. Since I'm just about done with this one over here, I figure why not go ahead and start a new project. So we found this guy's older brother, or at least I like to think it's his older brother. See if we get it bought, see if we can even get it home, and let's see if we can get this thing to look cool. Guys, we have got the trailer loaded back up. We are on our way to get another project. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough room at the house for all this stuff, but this is one I've been looking for another long time. You find them all the time, but in the shape that this one is in, you don't find them like this. So we're gonna go out there and take a look at this truck, possibly even pick it up. Hopefully it is what the pictures show it is. If so, we're getting it. I am bringing along the brains and the muscle, so we'll see how this goes. Get it up there. There we go. All right, as you guys may have guessed, we've got it picked up. I think I got a pretty good deal on it. I couldn't pass it up, and who doesn't want a nice square body? And what I mean by nice is it still needs some work. So let's get in here and take a look at what actually is going to be needed for this truck and what we're going to actually be doing today in this video to kind of spice this thing up a little bit so I can drive it around town and not look like an old grandpa. So All right, what we got here is a 1976 GMC. I know, that looks like a bow tie, but 1976 GMC 35. So I know everyone's looking in here and probably looking here saying, no, you got it wrong again. That looks like a Chevy C30 to me. And you'd be correct if whoever had this truck before me didn't swap everything out on it. So, got new tires on it. It's got the cool looking chrome simulator hubcaps on there. This one is a camper special. If anybody knows anything about the camper specials, they would put the camper back in the day. The camper would sit in the bed of the truck. It would overhang over them cab lights there. And these are the tie downs. There's a tie down here and there's a tie down there on both sides. That allowed the camper to get strapped down and nice and snug and tight to the bed. Back there is just a bunch of covers and everything else. Bed is definitely going to need some repair. Got a couple holes there. It looks like maybe the mice chewed through that. I don't know. I got some strong mice up here in Pennsylvania, so they like to eat metal. Overall, it does look like there's a bunch of rust. It is. It doesn't look like it. There actually is rust here. But it's not rotted through. It's literally just the paint that's come off of it. Nothing's really gone through except for there. So we will be doing some cab corners on this one. It didn't go all the way through. It's just right here on the outside. So they were able to get it out of the weather before. So got some rust there we're going to be working on. You can see right above the bed here. This thing has definitely had a paint job. That is not the original color. It's a little bit lighter color. The original color would have been a little bit lighter than what this is. And you can tell that it's got some, not necessarily overspray. They did a pretty good job painting it, but some of the spots here, they didn't take anything off, or that's just what scraped through. But we do have some paint bubbling up here. Not pushed all the way through that I can tell. I know as soon as I start pulling stuff apart, it'll be completely rotted. But that's all right. One step at a time. Inside is pretty typical for a 76. You got the worn out seat over there. Got a cracked dash pad. I believe every truck has this added modification, the old vice grips. I don't know why everybody was so hard on these handles. It seems like every truck I have looked at or ever bought, I get a free set of vice grips. It is what it is. I'll take it. I'll go buy a $1.19 new handle. I'm sure whoever bought this probably spent $4 or $5 on it. So thank you for the tool. I'll get her fixed. If we look at the VIN here, we can kind of break down where this truck kind of started its life and kind of what this truck is supposed to have. I'm only going to be able to decode kind of what this one is. I believe the same thing applies from it's either 72 or 73 all the way up to the early 80s before they start changing these VIN tags out. So the T stands for GMC. Why they picked a T, I have no idea. Maybe it rhymes with GMC and they thought it was a good idea. I don't know. But if there was a C there, that would be Chevrolet. T tells me this is a GMC. The next one we go down to is, well, C. That means this is a two-wheel drive GMC. So GMC, two-wheel drive. If it was a four-wheel drive, it would be K. So you have your C10s, your K10s, your C20s, and your K20s. That C tells me it's a two-wheel drive. The S right there tells me for the 1976 GMC, this is a 454 engine with a 4-barrel carburetor. And that checks. We have a 454 engine with a 4-barrel quadrajet carburetor. So keep up with me here. GMC, two-wheel drive with a 454 4-barrel. That is the S. Now the 3 means it's the series of the truck. If it was a 1 there, that would be that one, the C10 version. If it was a 2, the 20s. The 3 is that 1-ton version. For GMC, it's actually a 35, so it's a C35, not a C30. But you won't see that here in the The VIN tag, you got to know that 3 means it's a 1-ton truck. 4 means just a pickup truck. Doesn't mean anything else like that. All of the pickups will have the 4 there. Then the 6 tells me the year. So this is a 1976. B tells me where it was made. B is Baltimore, Maryland. So I actually got this truck, well, pretty close to Maryland. So that kind of would check too. Maybe it stayed around this place its entire life. And if it has, the body is in very good condition, knowing that this came out of Baltimore. It snows a whole heck of a lot up here in the north. So the salt, sand, all that kind of stuff usually eats this stuff away. And the rest of these numbers don't really mean anything to me other than for that is how many trucks this thing produced and how the sequential order in which this truck was produced. I highly doubt they had 511,000 of these, but they may have. The last numbers I don't care about. All I'm really concerned is this thing was built in Baltimore, Maryland in 1976. It is a pickup truck, 1-ton series with a 454 big block, 4-barrel, 2-wheel drive GMC. All this badging they got going on here is not correct for this truck. It is not a Silverado 30. It is a GMC 35. It is a camper special, however. I did run the numbers on that. It is a camper special. It's got the VIN for the camper special as well. It's coded on it, and it's weight classed for the camper special. However, the GMCs would have had a teepee here. It wouldn't have had the bow tie. It would have had a teepee. So we're going to get all that taken care of once we get the time. But we will get this back to a 1976 GMC. All right, this is what we're going to get done in this video. I've got a bunch of parts back here on the workbench. We're going to try to do this slowly and on like a budget, I guess. And what I mean by budget is whatever the wife allows me to spend, okay? So this is going to be a very budget conscientious, or however you want to say that. We're going to try to keep it on a budget, a low budget. You can get these parts pretty cheap, guys. You don't have to go spend the $800 to $1,000 just for the lowering kits. We're going to be lowering this thing down about 3 inches in the front. Well, it's about 6 inches total in the front, and then it's going to be about 8 inches in the back with the setup we have back here. All right, let's get this in the air and get at it. All right, let's get this front end lowered down. We're going to start on the driver's side, get the truck up in the air. Not going to be a how-to video, but it will be a kind of a quick walkthrough. Let's get this in the air and let's get the tire off. Screwdriver and our Phillips head socket. Let's get it off. Somebody's gonna catch on here in a second. All right, next we gotta get the caliper off. Need a flathead, need a BFH, and a 1/4 inch Allen wrench. Let's get the rotor and the hub assembly off with a 32mm socket and our flathead. All right, next we're gonna unbolt the top end of the shop. Just kind of let that swing and hang. And then we're gonna take the brake dust shield off. 9/16, 11/16, done. All right, and for the grand finale, we gotta get the spindle out. We gotta get the spindle by taking the upper ball joint, lower ball joint, and the tie rod end off. This is where the def spring comes out, hits you in the face, sends you to the dentist. So be careful. Actually keep this recording so you can see that spring coming. It really doesn't do that. Okay, this here is the stock coil spring. Looks to be about 13 inches. We need to get that shorter. And that, my friends, is, well, about 12 inches now. That is a lowering coil. Now, I've done the math, I've done the algebra 2 trigonometry, I've done the geometry, I've done the geometries on these coils. And yes, cutting the coils, people probably don't like. Probably say it rides like crap. They probably say it doesn't do its rebound, it doesn't do its compression, it doesn't do everything. All right, I've been driving on these things for well over 15 years and never had any problems with taking a coil. By my math, 1 coil and a quarter is perfect for these C30 trucks, in my opinion. Don't take my opinion for word either. But we are gonna cut a coil. We're not gonna, we already did. We cut a coil and a quarter out. And now we'll get to put it back in. All right, old ball joints are pressed out, cleaned up a little bit. New ones. Installed. Am I the only goober around here that cannot get these grease fittings in? I struggle with these things so bad. That should simply fit right there. But no. I'm going to spend the next hour trying to get it on there. Or I'm going to get it on there. And I'm going to cross thread it. And then we're just going to keep tightening it as long as she holds grease. Look, crooked. Look at that. It's in, but crooked. Upper ball joint installed, lower ball joint installed. Now it's time to get the coil and the drop spindle in. All right, so we've got the 3-inch lowering drop spindle in. We've got new upper ball joint, new lower ball joint. Got our lowering coil put in. What we got left now is the dust shield, brakes, and the rotor and hub assembly. All right, so it's back together, but the real test is to see, is it low enough? Let's find out. All right, it is time to get the back of this truck, put her down, so we can get this thing back on the road. Now, it's not the next day, it's not the next week. I don't even think it's the next month since we have lowered that front end. So it's probably been about 5 weeks since I've even touched the vehicle. If we get you turned around here, you'll see this shop is just full of stuff right now. We're finally getting settled in and we were able to move into our house actually this past weekend. It's finally time to work on some vehicles again. We're going to get the back end of this thing put back on the ground, hopefully within about a day or two. All right, let me tell you how we're going to get this thing lowered down to the ground. If I can even get my face in here without getting hit on everything. Right in my face. Ow. Let me get you turned around. Right here is your leaf pack, your leaf springs. On this truck, we actually have 1 load spring and 2 load springs with, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy crap. There's 10 leaves in this rear end. Now, to get this whole area, why are we zoomed in? To get this wheel up in that wheel well, we're going to take this leaf pack and put it under the axle. We're going to get rid of this rear sway bar. We're going to get some new shocks put in here. But basically, the whole gist of all of this is getting that leaf pack under the axle. And how do you do that? This mamma jamma right there. All right, so we're going to work on getting the shocks out. I already got one out, and I hired some help a little bit. It's pretty cheap. Fruit snacks and oatmeal cream pies. He's your man. So he's already got his side out. I don't know if you can see, there it is, hanging down there. He's got his side. I'm still working on mine. Let's see if I can get some advice from this guy. I have got the axle separated from the leaf springs. Got the back leaf spring bolts out over here and over here. And now we should be able to slide that axle back, drop those leaf springs, and slide the axle back in. But while the axle is out, we're going to grind and clean up the areas in which those lowering perches are going to be welded onto it. So it'll give us some room to get in there and clean it up without having to try to work around the hanging leaf packs, the rust falling from every corner of this truck. Let's get that thing pulled out. Okay, we got the leaf springs out of their purchase, which was a task and a half, by the way, because those are heavy and that truck is wobbly. But they're off. Axle is completely back. Now what we're going to do is clean up these perch areas where the new axle kit's going to go. But we are also going to swap out these brake line kits, or these brake lines, while this is out, because I don't know when they were last changed, cleaned, hell, even put on. But I do know, trying to get it off, she got a twist in her. We're going to get these lines swapped out. I did put some old Scooby Looby on there. However, I am confident I am not going to be able to get this to spin with that. So what I do is I'm going to cut this line, flip the wrench over so I can actually get a better bite on it. Hopefully it breaks loose. All right, so I have got this kit on here. Definitely took a little bit longer than I expected, but the rear lower end kit is on here. We're gonna get you under there and I'll show you what I was talking about earlier about putting the leaf springs under the axle. All right, so right here you can see this leaf spring. I actually took out the upper helper spring, so the pack's a little bit narrower. It's actually a little bit shorter than what it was. I've still got to weld that perch. I don't know. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, so still got to weld that perch right there onto the axle. So when we give it gas, that axle doesn't want to wrap itself forward. We'll do that after we get it raised back up. But I just wanted to show you what I was talking about. The leaf spring is now under the axle, hence flip kit. That's what she looks like. I don't even know what this is going to look like yet. I haven't even put it down off the lift, so you and I, or all of you guys and me, are going to see this together. I'm going to go lower this thing down, get you guys up on a stand. Let's see if this thing looks like something. It's probably going to be like some California squatting kid thing or something. It's going to be all wanky. Yep, she is low. It actually looks pretty good. Level across. I was kind of scared taking out those extra 2 leaf packs that maybe it was going to bring that back down just a little bit more than I wanted. Or I'm sorry, raise it up just a little bit more than I wanted. But it seems like it looks like it's spot on. Spot on, spot on. It looks spot on. $28 1/4. $28 3/8. So front's a little bit higher by about an 8. Once the coil settled down a little bit and some things happen, I think she's gonna ride just right. Oh, I love it. Dang, that took way too long. Alright guys, that is a wrap for today's video. I do apologize that this one took so long to get pushed out. Been crazy busy with the house build, with other projects, with the family, with the sports, with all kinds of stuff. But I'm back at it. We're going to be getting out hopefully one video a week again like we were doing in the past. But as for the old big hips here, she's done. That's a wrap for this as far as lowering it. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for sticking around, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Welcome back. I don't know. Nope. Front, back, I don't know. They're both gonna get done. Oh, this thing's gonna be on the top, bottom. I don't know. We got our fillet. Finally, time to get some. Maybe we'll bring you up just a little bit. Yep. Sure we can do. I don't know. So, there we go. Think so again.